Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I just wanted to share something that I've been working on for a very long time, and that's my entire Blades of Khorne army for Age of Sigmar. This video is just going to be very natural. There's no script involved, off the cusp. I'm pretty much just watching the recording and talking over it in real time. There's just a lot I want to talk about, and also just a lot I want to show you. I'm real proud of this army. I like the way it turned out. And hey, I love a good old-fashioned army showcase video, and I hope you do too. This army started 13 months ago in the hopes that the entire thing will be done by the time the Blades of Khorne Army Battle Tome released in spring of 2025. So naturally, the last model of the army was actually finished on December 31st, 2025. You know, best laid plans, yada, yada, yada. What's 6 months, you know? I actually didn't even consciously choose this army in the beginning. You could almost say it kind of fell onto my lap. Now, I'm going to preface this with, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not being paid to promote anything that I'm about to say. It's just the reality of how this army got started. Currently, I'm signed up to a subscription service to a friendly local game store here in the United States. Each month, I get a box of used models sent to me for a lower price than what Games Workshop usually sells them for. And November of 2024, I got a box of 10 Blood Warrior. And I immediately fell in love with the models. I fell in love with the aesthetic of Khorne, the color scheme, everything about it. And from then, I immediately knew I wanted to do a Khorne army. And I kept the theme going for the entire army. This is an entirely rescued, secondhand army. If you don't want to pay the exorbitant GW prices, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and Miniswap are your friends. Now, one of the main reasons why it took so long for this army to be painted and built is because I just want things to look good all the time. If you look at the knee pads of all of my Blood Warriors, you can see that I actually painted a gradient on them because I just wanted everything to look good. That bit me in the ass about halfway through because I tried doing the same thing with the 20 Blood Reaver. These models have so many bits and bobs, trim, horns, you name it. These 20 models are the thing that almost made me quit the army about halfway through. But they taught me a valuable lesson in army painting, and hopefully this will help you too. We always see a lot of people painting on Instagram and YouTube where they paint 20, 30, 40, 50 infantry models at a time. I just cannot do that. If you're like me, paint 5 at a time. Paint 5, then do something that you really want to do. Paint another 5, then do another model that you really want to do, and so on and so forth. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we're going to start getting into models that I actually enjoyed painting. I realized while painting these Wrathmongers, 40mm and above is where I like to sit when it comes to miniature painting. The details are big enough and not too detailed. There's a lot of space to work with. There's just something that really tickles my fancy with 40mm and bigger models. And speaking of bigger models, we're now getting into what I truly enjoyed painting amongst everything in the entire army. After painting the 13 Juggernauts that are in this force, I really think that Juggernauts are just my favorite model in all of GW. As much as I enjoy a crisp, clean paint job, what I did for the Juggernauts instead, I did a layered approach with stippling. I believe that the stippling style for these models really give the Khorne this dirty, worn, like these Juggernauts have been in battle for decades and decades. Also, if you knock on my door and ask me to commission just an oops, all Juggernauts Khorne army, I think I would just snap say yes. These were so fun to paint, I would paint another 20 in a heartbeat. And here, I had my single favorite model in the entire army, the Mighty Lord of Khorne on Juggernaut. I took just a little bit more time on this guy compared to the other juggernauts. Wanted a desaturated gold and really pump up the red. I wanted the red to really contrast and pop out on the table, and I think I did a really good job on it. Now, diving into the demon half of the army for a little bit. This half of the army is unified by three things. They're all on a lava base, everyone has a flaming molten weapon, and everything has a red and black gradient on the legs. Now that this army is done, I never want to paint another lava base for years. Do not ask me to paint salamanders. Do not ask me to paint fire slayers. Do not ask me to paint Khorne demons unless you want me to paint juggernauts. I think I'm good with lava for the next couple of years. For the Flesh Hounds, I wanted to do a little something different. I didn't like their classic red color scheme. I leaned into the flesh part of Flesh Hounds. I wanted them to look a little bit more organic and a little bit more fleshy and a little less demonic. Paranak turned out very purple, but I actually really like it. This is one of the models that is noticeably secondhand. When I received this model in the mail, it didn't come with the ball and chain, so I just used a little bit of jewelry chain just to give it, just its chain back. Now, the new Deathbringer is funny because I assumed that most of this army was going to be finished by the time this model came out. It came out alongside the Battle Tome in like May or June, which is when I wanted this army completely finished. In reality, this model marked roughly the halfway point of the entire project. Easily one of my top 3 favorite models in the entire army is this mighty Lord of Khorne and his little pet Fleshhound. This model is easily the culmination of every tool, tip, and trick that I did in this army. The flesh color on the Fleshhound, the gradient of red on the armor, fun basing. Easily one of the best models in the entire army and one of my favorites. This Bloodthirster was actually the last model that I painted for the entire army. It sat on the shelf because when it was delivered to me, the fire base that it was on broke and I just didn't feel like sculpting a new base yet. But I bit the bullet using brass rod, cork board, and milliput just to make a wasteland base for him to be flying over. I also really like his molten runes on the wings. And the final model needs no introduction, Skarbrand himself. Fun fact, this model was the first model that I've painted on camera for this channel. I'll post a link in the description, but painting him was the first video ever on this YouTube channel. Thank you for checking out this complete Blades of Khorne Army painting show. If you want to see any future Army showcases or any painting tutorials, make sure to give a like, subscribe, and tell me what your favorite model was in the comments below. Now please excuse me as I leave you with a very fun but very cheesy Khorne edit. Thanks for coming by, everybody.